Welcome on this sunny Wednesday. All righty. I have item number 9, and I'm going to call that ready with a question mark. Councilor Caldwell.
Thank you, Madam President. Blessings to all today. I have 10 to 13. Commissioner Byrd, how are you today?
Running in. Good. How y'all doing? Saisha Byrd, Commissioner of Parks. Got my exercising.
That's what's up.
So number 10 is asking to accept a donation from the Everson of a half-pike structure. It is a temporary installation. It's something that, within the next 6 months will probably not be there anymore. It's just temporary.
But what is it temporary for, Commissioner?
It's a half pike. It's a piece of, I sent pictures to everyone. It's for skateboarding. So the goal is to lay it out at Kirk Park or any park and let kids explore on the half pike.
Any other questions? Item number 11.
11 is an agreement with Elite Gaming for services related for instructional e-gaming program at both Wilson and Southwest.
So we're ready, set, go. Everything is up. The TVs, all righty, let's go.
You will be invited to the ribbon cutting soon.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Item 12.
12 is to amend ordinance 96. It's a waiver of residency for lifeguards. We currently have Southwest Pool and Clary Valley's pool. They're open. We're struggling to get Huntington open. We need staff.
I already signed off a waiver for this.
It's normally for the summer. I just want to make sure I covered myself and asked for it during the school year as well.
And I was going to say, you started early, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the overall goal is we're working on a plan to get, how do we get more city youth and parents to start getting in the pools and be confident enough to want to become lifeguards.
Yep, absolutely.
So-
And I see your aquatics team there. Okay. All right, I think item 13. Oh, that's
And
important.
13 is to appropriate funds to the Syracuse Parks Conservancy. Every year they get, or for the past 2 years, $25,000. And so it's to pay their, I can't even think of it, their $25,000 for their support of the parks.
Any other questions, you guys? All right, Commissioner Byrd, we're all set. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilor Majuk.
Thank you, Madam President. I have item 14 to 32. Item 14 is it will be held because we will have a public hearing on Monday at 5:30 and then a committee meeting at 12 o'clock on the 16th. Chief? Right? And then the next item of fire. Anybody from?
Good afternoon. District Chief Patrick Foodie, Syracuse Fire. We've got number 15, an agreement with emergency training consultants for a firefighter civil service test prep instruction course. Total not to exceed $6,000.
Do we know from last year used how much we had used and how many students took
Yeah.
advantage of it?
We have that data for you. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a good
Would you share it
turnout.
with the
Yep.
rest?
Absolutely.
Okay, share with the rest of the
Yes,
councilors?
we'll do.
Yeah.
Chief, maybe if you could also break down the percentage of recruits that, where they fail? Like, is it physical conditioning or is it like academically or what?
Initially, what we want to see is the city residents score really well because we canvass the top scores.
Right.
Once that academic score gets listed, then we canvass the top scores, then the physical starts after that.
So most of the people that fail the final exam are because of physical conditioning or?
No, we don't have too many failures, honestly.
What's that?
We don't have too many failures in the academy. Once they get to the academy itself,
Okay.
They, everybody gets worked
So
with.
this
really
aids
closely.
them to get to the academy?
This aids them to take the entrance exam given by the county,
Okay, so the
So-
civil service exam.
civil service
Okay,
exam, correct.
Okay, now I understand.
Yep.
Also, while you send us those data, would you also see out of the folks that took the test, how many of them went through this training and how many eventually ended up getting hired
Yes,
through this process that took the process
Yep.
to here?
I will get that for you.
That would be
Absolutely.
excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Deputy Commissioner Mike? 16.
Good afternoon, councilors. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner for the Assessment Department. We have item 16 requesting to hire the selected furniture, fixtures, and equipment vendor for the relocation to 1153 of Police and Fire. The committee, after an RFP was issued, chose Syracuse Office Environments. We're requesting to hire them at a total cost not to exceed $879,000. Bonding was already approved for this.
This was out of the $1 million we just approved a couple of weeks ago, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
This is a city business. I mean, they're located on Erie Boulevard, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, councilors. Rich Shaw, First Deputy Chief of Police. Item 17, this is something I come to you with every year. This hopefully will be the last year. This is an agreement with New Era Technology. What they do is they service our phone system at the PSB. You've heard this story before. Nobody else in the world will service this anymore. They don't even make pieces and parts for it. We don't use them an awful lot, but if we do need them, they're the only ones that can do it. When we move into the new building, we will have a new phone system, and this will no longer be necessary, in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Any questions? Okay.
18 and 19, 18 is a bond authorizing the issuance and sale of bonds of the city of Syracuse to defray the cost for a departmental command post, not to exceed $750,000. 19 is a police department command post, also from our capital improvement plan to replace that. So our command post is old. It's got squeaky floors. The electronics and the IT stuff's constantly breaking. It's old and it needs to be replaced.
What's the age on it, Chief?
I'll find out for you, but it's definitely not. It costs a lot to maintain it, and it's old and rickety. But I will get you that.
That's that big contraption that you guys have, the mobile contraption.
I'm sorry.
It's the big mobile unit, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's a big mobile unit that we use not only for public displays and certain events, but we use it when there's a lot for when we have SWAT call-outs, emergencies. It acts as our command post, a place for our officers and the commanders to sit and strategize and to run a scene.
So let me ask you this question, because we're always asking about refurbishing and removing and selling. So what are we going to do with this command post once you're done with it?
I don't know.
Are we going to auction it? Are we going to sell it?
I don't know the answer. I'll figure that out for you as well.
Okay.
I think it should be donated to Madam Swats.
Let's see. How old is it? And what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Item 2021 go together. It's authorizing the issuance and sale of bonds of the city of Syracuse to defray the cost for our radio replacement for $500,000. 21 is police department radio replacement plan as part of our capital improvement plan to upgrade and replace the portable radios. Last year we did the mobile radios in the cars. This year is to do the portables. They're old and end of life as well.
How often do we replace the radios or upgrade them?
I've had mine for over 5 years. I'll find out when was the last time we replaced them. Okay. Time flies when you're getting old, and I bet it's been longer than that.
Now, Chief, I know these cameras can at times act as deterrents, for people that see them. It regulates certain level of behavior, right? But in terms of actual crime that it has solved, do we have any of that information anywhere where we have actually used a camera that has actually addressed a crime?
I don't know if anybody's keeping track of each and every incident, but I can tell you that they are used daily to solve crimes. Everything from homicide to larcenies to criminal mischiefs to people breaking into cars, all of it, all of it. They are used all the time. We're having a problem with a certain establishment right now. We can see the comings and goings. I'm checking it myself personally, on Mondays and Fridays. They're very well utilized.
Okay. See, I would like to specifically see information that say, you know what, we addressed this crime because a camera was there. You see what I'm saying? Point to it. I know in terms of, being able to follow this and that and, but specifically, have we really solved a crime because of a camera?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Untold number of crimes.
Okay.
And especially the major ones, the homicides. That's first thing they do is go through all the cameras.
Chief, it would be safe to say that the camera placement, the cameras are placed strategically based upon the crime stats, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
also that some certain community organizations and residents also got together to have and requested those cameras to be
It's
there.
based on crime stats. Most of the cameras that we've gotten early on were based on grants that were provided by the state. And a lot of neighborhood groups had reached out to their state representatives and requested cameras in certain areas. The spot we would put them, maybe, maybe not. But we were just administering what the neighborhood groups had worked out with their state representatives. They do consult with us, and we do put that information out. What we're asking for now is money to replace that aging infrastructure that's getting old, and they're just not as good as they were.
Yeah, and at some point, too, Chief, we had talked about before we were to bond for it. There was a conversation early on when the cameras started to come about seeing if there are grants out there for replacement. And the answer back then was the state and other external entities only allow for the installment, not for the maintenance of it. Is that still the case?
So, depends on the grant. Councilor Williams, or Congressman Williams, when he was in, was able to get us a rather significant grant that could be used. Not Councilor, it was.
Don't confuse those two.
He was able to get us a significant grant, and we didn't get doged on that like we did with the command post. And we do have money for replacement and some new cameras from that as well.
Okay. Okay. So that has changed. Okay. Any other?
There isn't a neighborhood meeting I go to where you don't get 2 or 3 people wanting cameras on their street.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like constant. It acts as a deterrent, too.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is the amount of hoops we have to jump through and the time as we're working with Jai, just to get permission from National Grid and from Verizon to be able to use the poles. And then if they say we can use them, they have to make sure that it's not going to mess with their. It's usually 6 months to get this process done, and it's very frustrating to us.
And I guess this bring up the question where, when I was a district councilor, and Hoagie and everyone that is a district council can relate to this, right? When the National Grid come in, the spectrum, just to even go through that line to be able to replace a pole, it takes forever.
It does.
Have we ever looked at, Corey, have we ever revisited that at all to see where we are with the process? Because that affects cameras installation as well.
We've met with people from there. We've cleaned the process up as much as we can. They have a team that will help you, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's taken us months to get through these things.
And it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be. I don't think so. We don't have any more priority over as a municipality than anybody else. I guess that's their decision. But they're not saying, oh, that's the police department, that's public safety. You're to the front of the line. That doesn't happen.
So what's the problem?
It's easier dealing with the Soviet Union than it is with National Grid.
But to finish your question about the new cameras, a lot of the state grants, they will be directed towards new cameras. And not
Okay,
replacement.
good.
Chief.
I was getting to that too, yep. And so Ken Tolly's been really good about trying to identify places we can put our own poles up.
Okay.
And when we do put our own poles up, then we cut that process out. So that's one thing we always look for. Another thing we've been looking for is private property that will allow us to use their buildings or whatever. And we've been able to save time, cut that process down by that. So we're constant. It's frustrating to us too,
Yeah.
right? Like we want to get everything done yesterday, and these 6-month delays are very frustrating to us.
Chief, I'm already getting a couple calls about the cameras. I'm hearing the terms invasion of privacy. They're going to know about our phones, or they're going to know about our license plates, and it's going to a third party. I have one person is calling me on that. Can you elaborate on this, about invasion of privacy, on this, that's going to a third party, it's going to know people's
Yeah, we're
business?
not getting anybody's telephone call information off of these cameras. I can assure you of that. There's not even sound on them. We don't have sound on them. The data is protected with Axon Air. There's never been any issues with that. It's our
Okay.
data, right?
So
And
they're
that-
not going to
that-
take another person's private
No,
input?
absolutely not.
Privately.
And that goes to what the meeting Monday is going to be about, right? I suspect that more than the Axon drone as a first responder, it's the overall, what are we doing about data protection, is a feeling I'm getting from the council.
Okay. As
And
a
Monday and
district
Wednesday,
council, we
right?
hear
Monday and
this.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Chief, let me ask you a question. I'm going off the beaten path really quickly since we're talking about cameras. And I just want to publicly state this because I'm getting emails. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting emails about the cameras that SU installed. And I just want the public to know that's on private SU property and it's not the city that's responsible for that.
That's correct. That's SU. That's not us. I don't even know where they are, and I don't even know if they're up right now.
I don't either, but I know I'm getting a bunch of emails about it.
I have gotten a couple of requests for it. I just don't have that information.
Okay. But just for, argument's sake, to let the public know, since this is a public meeting, that it's not the city of Syracuse, it's Syracuse University.
So thank you, Ken, for thinking about creating our own polls, Thank you. I think that would help all of us. So that took care of 21 to 23, Chief, right? And then
Yes, sir.
24?
24 and 25 go together. It's bond ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of bonds for our 25, 26 police department vehicle replacement plan. That's for $3,241,000. And then,
Well, I got a question for that one. The vehicles that are being purchased, because I was just in Albany recently speaking with some of the city officials over there, they're having problems with some of their vehicles because they're not buying the actual police package vehicle as far as engine purposes and things like that, because you guys push the cars pretty hard. And their cars are breaking down and they're purchasing vehicles left and right. That's not really the case with us. We try to get the actual police package vehicle so that we're not really.
oh, we do, right?
Okay.
They're on state contract. But
Right.
the problem is it's highly competitive. So like we wanted 10 of this, we just met on this yesterday, right? Like we're planning this stuff out because we have a vehicle shortage, especially with our marked patrol fleet. Another problem we have is that getting upgraded. They're sitting in certain vendors for months on end. We're waiting for them to, get the radios and lights on and stuff put on them. But we buy them off a state contract, and then we bid anywhere around the state that will meet that price. But if you need 10, sometimes you can only get 3, and that's what happened to us yesterday. So, okay.
So are you going to send us over the mileage on the vehicles you're getting rid of and the year?
I don't know if we're necessarily getting rid of any. We haven't identified them yet, right? Like when they come in, if we have a vehicle that's not maintainable anymore, like we have people that are waiting on vehicles. So if we bump one from first line response, it's apt to get bumped down to a lower level unit, like say for schools, for example. I know we have an officer that doesn't have one that works in the schools, so that older vehicle will be bumped down to her. We eventually will auction off a number of vehicles. I don't know when that will happen, but that is done, and the money doesn't come back to the police department. It goes to the city general funds. But I can find out when the next auction is going to be, but I don't know if we've identified what we're getting rid of
Yeah, I
yet.
just wanted the mileage and the year of the vehicle that's being replaced.
I can tell you that a lot of the vehicles we have are well over 5 years old, well over 150,000 miles. That much we were discussing yesterday.
Chief, could you give
I
us
can get you a
just
list.
a number at some point, number of vehicles, how many you have, how many you're going to replace and all that.
Yeah, I'll get you a list of what we have and how many miles on them, what year they are.
That's what I would like to. And then,
I think, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I think some of that is an attachment A, Chief, that,
Is it?
that you
I'm
provided.
looking at the legislation.
Yeah, if you,
I haven't seen the
I'm
attachment.
looking at it, it's the ones that they're going to get, the 22 the marked and unmarked.
I can get you a whole spreadsheet with the vehicles, the years, and how many miles they have on them. And then, just because the vehicle's older with more miles doesn't necessarily mean that's the one we got rid of. It may not require as much maintenance as a newer one, right? So our garage kind of oversees what we're going to get rid of and when.
So you don't have any vehicles that's not being driven?
I'm sorry?
You don't have any vehicles that's not being driven?
We are short of vehicles.
And Chief,
You have to remember that we do have accidents, and when the accidents occur, then we're out of vehicle,
Well, I get that.
and we have to,
I get that, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be straightforward about it. I'm hearing that there's a vehicle that was previously driven by a chief and that people are refusing to drive the vehicle.
oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know that that's the case. That is, I've seen it being driven quite a bit. It's
Okay, I
it's
was
that
just curious.
blueberry colored vehicle,
I'm
correct?
just curious because that's what I'm getting.
You're talking about the blueberry colored vehicle?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's right now, I understand it is sitting there, if you bring your car in for maintenance and you need a vehicle to work that day, then that's one of the vehicles that we're issuing out to people, or people that are issued vehicles for travel, that's one of the vehicles that are
Because
being
you know
issued.
everything in this city comes back to you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So, Chief, I want to bring out what happened on Monday afternoon. We had a fire on Park Street. You had, I think, 2 or 3 police vehicles, all right? One had to be on Pond Street to block off traffic. Another one had to be by Grease Division Street to block off traffic. There was 3. And at the same time, short time after that, we got a bus, we got an accident between a bus and a vehicle, and now
Parking
we're
barn.
utilizing two more police vehicles at the same time. So now, as you were saying, well, now we're short-staffed. So are you looking to, number one, we need new vehicles? And again, it comes into, we need more police officers. So, you know, I can see your point. I can see your point there. But when we're utilizing an accident like this, we're 6 or 7, and you need a patrol, what do we do?
If I mean, it depends. If it's a traffic post and we can put like a CSO or somebody else out there, we'll do that. But if like the fire scenes, I mean, clearly we're not fighting the fire. That's my friends at the fire department.
Right.
But somebody's got to keep people from running over their hoses, and that's our job, right?
Right, and
So,
then unfortunately, you have another accident too.
right up the street, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a tough
Oh,
situation.
I was just looking at that accident he's talking about on my camera yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I wanted to see if I could figure out whose fault it was, but the light wasn't capturing it, so I couldn't tell. It was a school bus versus a car.
Yeah, thank you. Council Williams?
Chief, this might be directed more either towards Commissioner Canzero or our budget department, but the $3.25 million for the vehicle replacement, I'm not, going to push back, not going to question that, but when we look at your capital plan, police department has a roughly $7 million capital plan, and this amounts to roughly half of that. We had the unusual step or unusual occurrence this year of being provided an amended capital improvement plan in which we shifted from having $5.3 million of cash capital down to $935 million of cash capital. That represents a delta of about $4.5 million of cash capital. We got told that it was happening. We never got told by anyone why that shift was occurring and why we're borrowing rather than spending cash capital on police vehicles that will likely be paying for beyond their lifespan.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I understand that question.
Mike Canizero, Commissioner of Finance. So the useful life for police vehicles will be 3 years. So that would be any costs, we're not going to be bonding in advance for the $3.2 million, really whatever we spent. And then the bond for that specific project would be for 3 years. Does that answer your question, or?
I guess, okay. Then why did we shift from, $5.3 million of cash capital and police down to the 935 if we do a 3-year bond? But, that's a pretty sizable deviation from what was proposed in January.
So I think there was, Corey Dunham, Chief Administrative Officer, I think there was an assumption made that in the past that we had to use cash capital for vehicles. Working with bond counsel, we confirmed that that's not the case. And so if we are able to bond for vehicles, we would prefer to do that and use cash capital for the things that we can only use cash capital for. So that's why, taking a look at the CIP and having a fresh look at it with the finance team, things that we can shift to bonding, we would prefer to do that and leave the things that are only cash capital for that purpose. Does that answer the question, Counselor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe in the future, we can advise the council.
Absolutely.
That's the new strategy.
Yes, yes. And we're, as counselors might know, the capital planning process has begun, and so we fully intend to engage with the council more than we have in the past, where generally speaking, the capital plan has been delivered to the council, but we'd like to engage with the council to walk through the planning process so that you're aware of what's in the capital plan and it's not just on you to review on your own time.
Yeah, the way it feels to me is we're borrowing for things that we were planning to pay cash for, and to me that, I don't know, doesn't bode well for our, financial health.
I defer to Commissioner Cannizzaro, but I think if we have the bonding capacity, that we would prefer to use that than cash if we don't need to use cash. But I understand your point, Counselor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? All right, 26 and 27, Chief.
Yes, sir. 26, the bond ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of bonds from the city of Syracuse to defray the cost. 25, 26, Police Department Information and Technology Server Upgrade Plan, not to exceed $100,000. 27 is also related to that, for switches, firewalls, and related equipment for the servers. Just standard upgrades we have to do to stay ahead of the game.
Chief, quick question for you. All of this upgrade to this equipment, is that going into the new building?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
There's going to be some things down here, because we're not going to shut everything down and move over all at once, but all the new stuff is going into the new building. We're not going to buy new stuff and leave it over there. We're meeting weekly, sometimes twice a week, about the technology stuff, how to do that best, because clearly we can't shut down and move all at once. We have to kind of
And
move
that's
in.
why I asked that question, because you're going to still have to operate from the old building into the new building is up and moving.
You're 100% correct, right? Because, some businesses can shut down for a week, we can't, so.
And I imagine Commissioner OJ will give us an update at some point about the PSB. Just where we are as far as what we're going to do with the old building. And
He will. Would we like that to be now? Or
No, I think maybe we'll do that separate. We're not going to interfere with Deputy's time.
Okay, item 28, 29 are tied together. It's our handgun program. 28 is a bond ordinance authorizing the issue and sale of bonds.
Same question I have for you. So what do we do with those old guns? Do we destroy them?
Those get sold back to, no, they get sold back to the company, and then you get a better price on the handguns
okay.
that you're buying.
Cool.
That one I did know. Where was I? Okay.
31, right?
30,
30?
I think.
30.
Yep, yes, sir.
30.
It's all guns.
30, appropriate funds from our cash capital account in an amount not to exceed $150,000 for our patrol rifles replacement. Same thing with those, they're just getting old and need to be upgraded. Plus, after the Jensen incident, we did get more patrol rifles out on the street, because that was one of the things we found, we were a little short in the patrol unit. So we've rectified that, but we need to keep that stock up. All right, 31, appropriate funds for our cash capital. This is something that's been on there a couple years anyways, but there's a lot of coordination to getting this done, but this would be for a new records management system. Currently, we use Chairs, which is Chairs 2, which was created by the county. We feel that we need a more robust records management system. In today's day and age, there's just a lot better products out there. The other departments in the county are coming along. They're in agreement. Most importantly, we finally got county IT to agree that this is a really nice looking package and it would be a benefit to us to get. Is it imminent? No, but we would like the money because we would like to get that project is moving, and when the project does come about, we'd like to have the money for it. There's a lot of coordination with the other towns and villages.
So this is a data management system for an entire department, not just.
It covers.
Right, because I know there are departments that are somewhat secluded, you know, within the police, right? But this is
no.
an
This would be
overall?
for police reports,
Okay.
cases. There's all kinds. The limits. It's not limitless. It doesn't have, because we were looking at it. It doesn't have a human resources function, but it does do all of our police reports. It would do all of our crime data. It takes care of all the bases we need checked to report into the state and federal government. Right now, we're using this system, that system, this system for this. It combines most of them in one. For example, we're using a system called Beast for our property management. And then we're using the Chairs 2 for the actual police reports. And then we're using the state one, it's slipping my mind, but that's all incorporated into one system. So the beauty of it, and it's long, complicated, I've sat through some of these presentations. There's other companies, it's not just niche, there's other companies where if you type in the person's name and the police report, you don't have to type it in again on the supplemental report. You don't have to, it pre-populates a lot of the fields for you. There's so much technology, it's so vastly superior to what we have. A lot of times you can dictate your report instead of writing it. There's just, it's so robust that that's why agencies are going to it. Currently, the state police are on this particular system. Niche in particular does mostly countries and states. They do large agencies. We're on the cusp of being too small for them, but if we can get some of the towns and villages to come along with us, they will offer us the same package. But it makes sense to be on the same system as the state, to be honest with you.
Is the county connected?
County is with us, we meet, and there's a couple other systems out there, you know, Axon's got one, they've got one, but we're all in agreement. I can speak for the sheriffs, because I've had these conversations with them, that they're in agreement, we need a new records management system. Something that a company that, and I don't want to speak ill of another department, but they do a great job, but there's more robust technology out there that's available to us.
So you are not you are buying this on your own, but eventually you're hoping that the other people,
That's kind of where we're at with it, yes.
Okay, you are hoping there are other people tag on to share the cost, is that what?
No, it won't share the cost. However, well, I can't say that. I'll tell you something offline. But I can't say it here because I'll probably get in trouble with somebody else. That would be just for us. It would make sense to have everybody in the county on the same system.
Okay, yeah, and you know how especially how I feel about, you know, putting all of this together, because the data management is not, the way we look at the data and we manage it, it's not the same way as they look at it and manage it, especially when it comes to sharing and all of that.
So we already currently share all of our data, police data, police reports and stuff with everybody else in the county, right? That's that Chairs 2 system, it's a county-wide system, which makes it, if somebody's committing a murder in DeWitt, isn't necessarily the person that lives in DeWitt. You need, the boundaries are just imaginary. We drew them up, but they don't mean anything to the bad guys. You know.
All right. Okay. Item 32.
Once again, just to reiterate, it's not imminent. It's nothing we're looking to do tomorrow. Item 32, this is an annual fee that we use to pay for our AIMS annual support. And this, for the period of next year, June 30th to July 1st to June 30th of next year. This is the system we use for writing parking tickets.
Parking tickets?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, Chief.
Thank you. I'll
Thank
get you
you.
those answers, Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
That will be all, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilor Paniagua?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Madam President. I have items 33 to 35. Item 33, Syracuse City School District to amend the budget for the July 1st to June 25 to June of 26 relative to the Syracuse increase, to increase, excuse me, the general fund operating budget. Do you want to? Are there any questions about this? No? Okay, so then we're all set. Thank you very much.
We approve.
Have a nice day, thank you.
This has been approved by the school board, so it's fine.
Yes, it was an extra $6 million from the
Yes.
state. That's nice.
And then item number 34, Richard, you have.
Good afternoon, Council. Rick Elseaver, Director of Human Resources. For item 34, this is our ACA reporting. I've come to you a bunch of times for Alera Group, used to be CPI HR, has done all of our ACA reporting, which is Affordable Care Act. They run all of our reports. They do our calculations for employees that are variable hour throughout the summer, all year, but mostly throughout the summer. They handle all of that for us. We're switching from Alera Group. We estimate on the light side $10,000 savings annually. And if we, fingers crossed, things stay the way they are and we don't have to print the forms that you get with your W-2, we'll save about $12,000.
And we won't get hacked.
Correct. Well, I can't promise that, but yes. I mean, that's a crazy world that I don't know anything about computers, so I can't promise anything on that.
Yeah,
but-
well, I know with Alera, I got a letter saying, oh, you've been compromised.
Yeah, ideally, I mean, we've worked with BPAS a lot. They have a lot of our information. We use them for almost everything else benefits related, and we haven't had any issues there.
So what measures do we, to her point, what measures do we have that we, can protect the information?
So they, similar to police, they use on their end a whole slew of different algorithms to protect that information. They have protected, encrypted emails, things like that. Everything that comes through from BPAS is encrypted. So they take their own measures, and we follow their measures when we interact with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else?
Any other questions? And then 35, we're on hold for the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Gathers.
Thank you, Madam President. It's 36 to 48. 36, we can just briefly brush up on this one. We're going to have been having communication with Genoptic to schedule a meeting for everybody to talk about the issue that we have with the data sharing. If you would like to speak on that behalf as well.
You say you was going to schedule a meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we are.
Yep, so it's a separate issue. So, this item that's been on a few agendas is about, as a reminder, the construction and insurance requirements around Genoptic placing equipment within our right-of-way. This item, we're waiting for this item to move forward and be approved by the council in order to install the speed camera in front of the STEAM school. The reason why that one is a particular outlier is because of the age of the underground conduit and making sure that we have these additional insurances in place before those contractors begin to work on that underground conduit. And so, Councilor Gathers, as you said, we will work with Genoptic to bring them in the next week or so and have a special committee meeting about any data sharing regarding that program. I'm happy to answer any other questions as well.
Any questions from the council pertaining to item 36?
My question is about data sharing.
Yes.
Can you go over that again, please? As I said
Yeah, so
earlier.
just at a high level, as we've talked about a few times, the data, the company uses the highest standards both nationally and internationally on data privacy and data security. They've reiterated both in our contract and to us, and we're happy to do so again, that we are the owners of the data that's captured by the speed and red light camera program and the bus stop arm program. If any law enforcement agency or any third party were to request data, they would say, we are not allowed to do so, you have to go to the city. And then we are actually not allowed to share data with that the cameras capture as part of the demonstration program from New York State. There's very strict limitations on what we can share with anybody who is not the registered owner of the vehicle.
Okay, and it'll be secured. All right, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. For item number 37, this is just an annual agreement. It's coming through DPW because they pay for it, but this is for the entire city. All the departments utilize this visual and hearing test that they administer. So if there's no questions on that, we can move on to item number 38 to talk about the agreement with Parking and Laz.
Great. We put out an RFP a couple of months ago for operator of our parking garages. This would be for 4 of the city-owned parking garages, Washington Street, Fayette, Madison Irving, and Center Armory. There was an RFP committee. Members of the Common Council were on that committee. We received 3 bids, and the RFP voted unanimously to select Laz as our preferred vendor, given both their past performance and as the lowest bidder for all cost categories, including security, staffing, operating staff, operating expense budget, management fees, and equipment. And additionally, Laz is offering, as part of this agreement, to invest $100,000 into entry floor beautification and landscaping for the entire garage portfolio, and to bear the cost and project management for EV charging installations for Fayette, Madison, Irving, and Washington Street garages, valued at an additional $25,000. This is a 3-year contract with 2 2-year renewals that would require council approval for those renewals.
Connor, what's our plan with the parking garages?
It's a great question, Councilor. I know you and I have had a lot of discussions about this as
we've
we
been
last
talking about
shared.
it for 2 years, and
That's
like,
correct.
we're still
Well, so
no
the
plan.
last time that we discussed this, Councilor, we had a scope of services for a professional contractor to come in and help us work through what to do with those assets, thinking about the financial upside of those, and then also the cost for capital improvement. As we discussed, that item is not bondable, so we would need to find funds to pay for that study.
I heard we just shifted $4.4 million from bonding to cash capital, so we kept that in our reserve.
We can certainly look at
Sounds
that.
like there's money out there for this project.
We can absolutely take a look at that, but right now we don't have a line item available for it, but we'd be happy to explore other avenues.
I'm sorry, maybe I missed this, but what, are you talking about a consultant? You're talking about a consultant, right?
Well, the question was, what should we be doing long-term with our parking garages? We have
Are we
4
gonna hire
garages
a
that are...
consultant for that, or what?
So there's a couple of different things that we would want to look at. We'd want to look at the urban planning and financial revenue potential of those garages, particularly in light of I-81 playing a major change in parking needs. Right now, there's a little over 1,000 parking spaces underneath the I-81 viaduct that will be relocated as part of the 81 effort. And that will change the landscape for the supply and demand of street parking and surface parking throughout the city. And so we would want to make sure that we have expertise on hand to consider the revenue potential of those garages, and then also the capital cost for some capital necessary upgrades, and potentially even the long-term disposition or demolition of those aging infrastructure.
I think we should probably discuss this as far as having a consultant, because there's a lot more parking situations that can impact the neighborhoods around not only 81, but I'm thinking about the Inner Harbor. Obviously, when those things start, when the aquarium gets built and a few other visitors over there, there's going to be probably a need for a parking garage over there, I imagine, too.
I agreed. I think a citywide approach to examining all of our parking assets and infrastructure would be a recommended next step.
Well, I would ask probably the Councilor Gathers and Councilor Williams would probably want to have a joint committee meeting at some point to consider a consultant.
Sure. And I'd be happy to share a draft scope of work regarding that effort as well.
We can.
Great.
Counselor, are you going to be looking forward to a committee meeting?
Yes, if we can get.
For parking garages or for?
I think
if we can do both
Yeah.
around the same day, same time.
Sure. Be happy to help that.
To knock that out.
I think the length of the term, too, is 3 years. I should have discussed this earlier, but with 2-year renewal options, this is the only bidder, right?
No, there were 3 bidders. This one was significantly the lowest bidder. And they've been our current operator as well. We've generally been very pleased with their efforts. All good there. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 39.
Good afternoon, councilors. Jeff Regola, Assistant Director of Fleet. 39 is to appropriate the funds from the sewers capital account for the purchase of new equipment not to exceed $673,000.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 40 through 45. We have Mr. Towsey come up to speak about this.
Good afternoon, councilors. Items 40 through 45 cover authorizing bonds for 3 separate pots of money to cover street lighting, interstates, and upgrades in parks. Projects we've been doing since we started.
I ask the same question I always ask. With the interstates, do we get reimbursed by the state?
No, we don't. Only time we get reimbursed, counselor, is if it's a complete replacement.
Ken, just slightly different since you are here. The upper Onondaga, remember the conversation we had about
Yep.
lighting it up and it was going to be in plan? How is that going?
So there are solar lights along that Onondaga Park coming off of Arlington where the big concern was. Those lights are up and running. They
Okay.
run from Parkside coming up from the south, and they run right all the way down to the tennis courts.
Okay,
Those are running, they're operational.
good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ken. Appreciate it.
I don't, Councilor Tall, I mean, how are we doing as far as parks go, Ken? As far as parks lighting goes?
So I would say a good 15 to 20 parks have been upgraded with solar lights. We just did a couple up in Westmoreland. We've had some issues up there by the basketball courts. We installed 2 solar lights this week. Right now, we're doing Light Art Park along that pathway.
Yes.
That's a nice little project we're doing. Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, we'll be doing Meacham tennis court. We're going to be putting 8 lights around the tennis court and then getting rid of those high-pressure sodiums that are up on the wood pole. If you have any other parks that we see, if you guys see that you think needs lighting, just shoot me an email, a text, and I'll jump on it.
I just want to commend Ken for bringing that up. I mean, as far as solar lighting goes for the park system, we really appreciate, the neighborhoods really appreciate it. You know, when
Thank you.
we instituted the new technology like that, it really means a difference.
Thank you.
All right, next we have engineering coming up for items 46 through 48.
Good afternoon, councilors. Mary Robison, city engineer. Item 46 is a revocable permission to SUNY ESF to construct, own, operate, maintain an electrical meter and 4 conduits for an electrical service in the 700 block of Standard Street. It's one of our standard revocable permissions.
Okay.
Revocable, right?
Revocable. Any questions on that one?
No.
Item 47 is another revocable permission to WL LLC, which is Joe Hucko, to own, operate, maintain, and repair existing underground vaults in the 100 block of Bank Street, which is Bank Alley between Fayette and Washington. He owns McCarthy Building, University Building, Snow, and Merchants Building. So this is to do necessary repairs on the vaults associated with these buildings.
Any questions? Thank you.
I'm sorry. So these vaults are owned by us or by Mr. Hucko?
By Mr. Hucko.
Okay. But they impact our sidewalks,
Sidewalks.
correct? Is that the idea?
They impact our sidewalks,
Yeah, okay.
yes. So he'll be doing sidewalk work as well. 48 is rescinding a revocable permission to SU that we approved in May. We processed the revocable permission and they later determined they didn't need it. They changed their plans. So we're just requesting to rescind the ordinance to clean up our records.
I guess I do have one question in regards to the replacement of a lot of projects that happen. As far as just using item 47 for an example, when the sidewalks are being replaced, or if there's any work like that, does the city do the replacement, or does the owner hire a contractor to do the replacement?
In this particular case, Mr. Hucko is going to replace the sidewalk, but I believe MBD has some grant funding that they are going to offer him to do that work.
But just and then we'll have an inspector to go to make sure that the work is being done to our
Yes.
standards?
Yep.
That's my concern.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. If there's no further questions, Madam President, I'm all set.
Thank you. Councilor Nave.
Thank you, Madam President. I am appointing Octavia Gernhardt to the Citizen Review Board to succeed Olivia Sakurori, who has resigned, for this appointment for the First Council District. Is there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Hogan.
Thank you, President Hudson. I have items 59. So I will, 50 is ready. We had, obviously, we had a special use permit public hearing on that. 50, we had meetings this morning on 51, 52, 53, and 54, and I'm calling them all ready. 55 and 56, they are ready. 56, I got a question on. Who would handle? Jake, 56, that doesn't take in the ball field's still going to be there or not? I couldn't tell but from that map.
Yes.
Yes, the ball, so there'll still be a baseball field there, okay. But so the parking, I imagine, is for the school, correct? Is it for Fowler?
This is the city's lot for police.
Oh, this is the police lot?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the
1171. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all contiguous, so.
Right.
So we're
This-
expanding it towards Magnolia Street, is that the idea? Like I said, the maps are
Yeah, that push it
indecipherable.
back.
Yeah, so this would be private municipal parking for police.
Okay. 57, that's the same existing,
Yep, we spoke about that. It's at the kind of right side if you're facing it. The same tenant space that's been there. And we haven't had any issues with them, so.
okay. 58, I think I'm going to have a committee meeting on that, just so we can get into that in depth. If that's
Yeah, I sent the summary out, so we can definitely do that.
And I'm okay with 59 too, unless there's any questions from the council.
All righty.
Thank you.
Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 60 through 64. We're going to hold 60. I believe the 17th, is that the date that we had settled on for a committee meeting at 2 o'clock? And I need to let our staff know of that. And moving on to 61. Thank you, Michael.
Hello again, councilors. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner with the Assessment Department. I have items 61 and 62. 61 is the Department of Assessment is requesting to authorize the retaining of an appraiser to appraise the property at 108, 108 Elmwood Avenue. The property owner at 106 has expressed interest in purchasing it. It's a vacant lot owned by the city.
Thank you.
Okay. 62, this is a lease agreement request with the Syracuse City School District. If you recall, the city purchased the property at 516 Prospect Avenue earlier this year on behalf of the school district, and this lease agreement is a financial vehicle basically for the school paying the city back, the school district rather.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
And then 63, 64 will be discussed in executive session.
And can we do executive session Monday, because there's another item that we want to talk in the executive session?
We're prepared today, it just depends on
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, the one item that we're going to talk about, and I don't have time for that, because I got to leave. So I don't know, do you want to do all these in executive session with that one, or you just want to do that one Monday? It's up to you. Because they can go. It's
Yeah,
up to
we
you.
can go into executive session.
So the item you're talking about is going to be on the waiver agenda, or what?
No, that's a separate issue. Joe, you,
Or just an item that's coming?
no, I was just putting that out there. You can do as normal. Yeah, it's fine.
Joe Barry, First Assistant Corporation Counsel. We have 2 settlements on the agenda that we're ready to discuss today if you feel you have time. In addition, our office had a proposal about a legal change in how we handle claims that we wanted to advise the council on before placing it on a future agenda to get your feedback. So that's a legal discussion that would be eligible for executive session as well.
So that's the one I want him to wait till Monday to discuss.
Yeah, but we'll take these 2 today.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you, Madam
All
President.
righty, Counselor Jones-Rouser, who's taking her agenda items? Who's on her committee?
I'll take it if you want.
Are you on her committee?
Housing.
I'm on the housing still.
Go
I
ahead.
would gladly take her items. Councilor Jones-Rouser has items 65 through 72.
Okay.
Afternoon, councilors. Michelle Spansky, Deputy Commissioner of Neighborhood Development. Items 65 and 66 are companion pieces which we discussed at they were held from the most recent council meeting. So these are authorizing the transfer of funds to home headquarters for dollars that were awarded to them in the city's 25-26 general operating budget. So they were held so that SURA could hold their board meeting and memorialize that this is what is happening with those funds. So that happened on Monday and was approved.
Did you change the short title amount?
I had changed it last week, so I think that.
He'll say 725.
Yep, yeah, correct. In that one, so yes, that one does need to be changed, so.
Okay.
750. It says the correct amount in item 65 and item 66. I do believe that is a typo. Thank you. Any other questions on those two?
We all set? Cool. Thank you.
And then item 67 is authorization to enter into agreement with HUD for fiscal year 23 community projects funding grants to be used for blight busting and the emergency repair program. For an amount not to exceed $1 million. These were funds that we were awarded through the Congressional Projects Funds. They're not like a typical grant application in that they were something that we applied for, but they were a part of kind of the annual fiscal spending priorities. So this was something that got funded through Senator Schumer's office. We had thought that we had done the ordinance quite a while back to memorialize this, so just a housekeeping item. So. And those funds will be targeted for the purposes of blight remediation, the blight busting program, and emergency abatement. We don't necessarily have an exact list of what those properties look like, understanding the nature of how we target funds for both of those programs, but.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And 68.
Good afternoon, councilors. Michael Collins, Commissioner for Neighborhood and Business Development. So we have issued and received response for an RFP for the Financial Empowerment Center. The committee met, and I will have at the next meeting proposal for engaging in contract with that entity. In the meantime, Home Headquarters has agreed to continue so that we can have continuity in service. And so this would simply be an extension of that. I did make a slight mistake, and when I upgraded the letter, you guys ended up getting 2 letters. I say upgraded. I suppose the second letter was better than my first letter. You wouldn't know this, but so it was technically an upgrade. I'm going to go with that. But I made a mistake, and so this amount says $385,000. It's.
It doesn't.
Oh, you changed it.
Yeah, we had time yesterday.
So
After we stopped in, so the letter's correct. Short letter.
Shout out to Brian. He's the man, because that happened yesterday. Thank you, sir. Okay, so questions related
So
to?
home headquarters until we get to the contract, and then it will just seamlessly move.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I'll have a letter for the next meeting.
The 24th?
20, for not for that one, since we just turned yes, for the 24th. Okay.
So Home Headquarters has no capacity? Is that why we setting it out?
Home Headquarters, with the way that Home Headquarters business has grown, they are shifting away from, this service is more of a standalone for them now than they expected it to be. So they were ready to relinquish it and have another provider in the community do it. And so they asked us to send it out for RFP.
They should.
And I had a question earlier about, because when FEC started, it was started through Bloomberg funding years.
Actually, Bloomberg funding was not part of it. The initial funding was through the Centers for Financial Empowerment out of New York City. But at exactly the same time that we were doing some of the Bloomberg work, similarly innovative. So absolutely, it would seem like those went together.
Yeah, I mean, you remember. So does it mean that the money that this got started with is dried out? They don't
Years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been through the first couple years after the money had expired, that grant had expired. We were using ARPA funds. We then transitioned to part ARPA and part general fund. It's now fully in the general fund budget.
Okay.
Yep.
Good?
Good. Okay. Thank you,
All
Councilors.
right. And then 69 through 72.
Good afternoon, Councilors. Matt O.J., Commissioner of Assessment. 69 and 70 are similar in that we're amending a pair of ordinances authorizing conveyance to the land bank. The descriptions reflected improvements on the property that are since gone. So we're amending to reflect that they're vacant lots now. 71 and 72 are a pair of vacant lots on Fairfield Avenue that we're looking to convey longtime city-owned properties.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. I need a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All righty, we adjourn.